Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you for being here. I'm Dr. Cheryl Small, the Deputy Director of the Fulton County Library System over Youth Services and Community Engagement. So I want to take a moment to welcome you. And everybody, let's see. Do you have a book in your hand by chance? All right. All right. Hold it up high. Yeah, that's a picture. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Now that book is the kind compliments of Fulton County Library System, led by our Executive Director, Dr. Ms. Gail Holloman. Ms. Holloman, could you raise your hand? And at this time, I'll also acknowledge our other Deputy Director of Adult Services and Community Engagement, Ms. Taryn Gillen. Are you here? Okay. And I would also like to acknowledge and recognize our Library Board of Trustees member, Dr. Beverly Rice, if you would. All right, as usual, when we have these programs, I call this a Signature Central program, I like to ask, how many of you have been here before? Raise your hand. Wonderful. And all of you who are first-time visitors, raise your hand. Look at that. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. If you live in Fulton County, or perhaps you don't, you can always get a library card. The library today closes at 8 o'clock, so you may actually have time to go back up and apply for a library card. One other thing I want to mention is today is June 1st, and this is a very significant day. Anybody has a clue as to why June 1st is important? Just raise your hand and holler it out if you know. All right, all right. A few titles. But I wanted to acknowledge that today is the first day of the summer reading program. This is one of the you all literacy is very, very important. And you're sitting here with the free book in hand, and I want you to look at our website, look at all the wonderful things we're doing throughout 34 branches, our library system, and take the time to participate and get involved, of course, with literacy. You have that free book to get you started, if this is a start. And we have many, many more programs that will include a free book. So give yourselves a hand. I'm just glad to see you. So we're here for a very important reason. It's all about literacy, right? So this evening, we have a wonderful guest, Alexandra Elle. And to begin the conversation, I'm going to introduce who she's in conversation with. I'm not sure you know about this, but her name is Trinity Mitchell. She is a relational strategist, author, podcast host, and speaker. She's the founder of the Friend Fusion podcast and the author of The Mean Girl Manual. She focuses on empowering women to heal from toxic relationships and build healthy communities. If you would, welcome Miss Trinity Mitchell, and thereafter she'll introduce our author.
Hey, friends. I'm so excited to be here in Atlanta, y'all. I came all the way from Mississippi. I'm just going to go straight to it, y'all. Alex doesn't know, but we're friends, okay? And she cannot get rid of me, okay? It just is what it is. It's been about a year or so ago, and I was scrolling on social media, and there was a post that hit home with me. Did anybody else find Alex the same way? Right? And you was like, this is my friend too, right? Right? And so I started scrolling through her profile, and I started seeing all the things, and I was like, wow, who is this woman? You know, right? It's like she's one of those people is you like, who is this? I got to know who this is, right? And so I found her email, and I sent her an email. And I just kind of introduced myself. I'm just one of those girls, y'all. I'm going to shoot my shot, okay? And she was a girl where shooting your shot, right? And so I sent the email, and at the time we could not connect. And that's one thing I really love about being here tonight, because even though at the time Alex and I could not connect, she let me know her capacity. It wasn't in this season. She never forgot me. And so I want you to think about tonight some of the people who have not forgotten you, whether they could make the lunch date, right? Maybe they could not make the meeting. Maybe they could not connect over Zoom. But there was something that happened in life that left a print on you to let you know that they did not forget you. And I want you to think about them tonight as we have this conversation, because the company we keep is so important, right? But so many times I would like to say, I think we discount the people that we didn't fully get to connect with, right? But people have a way of leaving little prints on our lives that remind us that we are right where we're supposed to be, even if it's not with them in that particular season. And to the woman who has taught me that, I want you guys to stand and welcome our friend, Alexandra Elle.
Thank you. Hey, Atlanta. I was going to try to walk out to some TI, but we couldn't make it happen this time. Next time. How are y'all doing? Wonderful. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yes,
And I did not forget you. I was like, I am tapping Trinity for this.
Yes, I appreciate you. I really do. I mean, I was talking to my husband about it, and I was like, my girl ain't feeling me right now, but I'm going to keep reaching out.
That is not true. That is not true at all. But something, I'm really glad that you kind of started the introduction like that, because last year was a tough year.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have, thank you, the space for any new people in the way that I like to hold space and be with people.
Absolutely.
And I was like, let me not tell this girl, yeah, we can catch up, because I can't, and I'm sad, and I'm tired, and like all of these things, right?
Yeah.
And so I just appreciate you for allowing me to circle back and say, hey, let's see if we can connect for this.
Yes,
And thank
yes.
you for saying yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With ease.
Thank you.
You told me last year that you were writing a book, and you had a lot on your plate at the time. One thing you wrote about in your book that, wait, have people in here read the book yet?
I hope so. They hope some started.
Oh, great. Okay, so.
We getting there.
Okay.
I mean, it just came out, so.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, in the book, for those of you who have read it, Alice talks about how she's been honest about her capacity. And in doing so, it's helped her to protect the future of her potential relationships. Can you unpack that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that we have to learn to consider other people even if we don't necessarily have a relationship with them yet. And I believe that many of us are saying yes to things that we don't have the capacity for. We're saying yes to things that we don't want to do. And with that comes resentment. It comes a lack of intention. Like I'll be 37 this year. I am big on intention. And I love being in relationships with people where I can be intentional, be it work, romantic, platonic, right? And so it's like, how am I able to hold this person intentionally if I'm really struggling to hold myself right now?
Yeah.
So that's really what that is about for me. It's like, if I can't show up intentionally, I'm just gonna like wait until I can.
What's one song that always makes you think of community or home?
Ooh, that's a great question. Probably As by Stevie Wonder. That's a good one, right? Yeah.
That's really good. Which artist has the soundtrack to your healing era?
Ooh, it depends. Because sometimes it's Ken the Man.
Okay.
Sometimes it's Sir. Sometimes it's Thames. A lot of times it's Erykah Badu. A lot of times it's the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill on repeat.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of just depends. You know, yeah.
What sitcom character taught you the most about friendship or family?
Oh wow. I don't even know the answer to that. I think the first show that I watched that really kind of demonstrated friendship for me was Girlfriends.
Yes, absolutely.
And going back and watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh.
right?
I get it now.
I haven't done that. I need to do that.
Yes.
That's good. What's the friendship duo of all time?
I don't know. What's yours?
Ooh, friendship duo of all time. Oprah and Gail.
Yeah,
I
I
just love
that.
their friendship.
Yeah. I would say I don't have an answer to that. Maybe Barack and Michelle.
I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
because they're
always a good
friends,
one.
but they're married,
They're really friends.
and they're amazing, and you can tell that they're friends. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What song would play? What song would you play during the montage of your life right now?
What song would I play? Probably "Ready" by Ten.
Name a TV show everyone should
This is
watch.
trivia. I like this. I was not expecting this.
And I just sprung it on you. You weren't ready. Name a TV show everyone should watch at least once.
A TV show. You have me stumped because I don't watch a lot of TV.
Well, you know a movie that I didn't realize was more about friendship than anything? Wicked? Have you watched Wicked?
I have not watched Wicked. Do I need to?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well,
I'll come back
you're
to
still
it.
the company that we will all keep.
Okay.
Actually.
Thank you.
Yes. One thing that stood out to me in your book, Alex, was your honesty about not reconnecting with certain people simply because you knew you didn't have the capacity to nurture the connection well. When did you realize that honesty can actually preserve a relationship more than forced connection can?
I mean, I said this at I don't know where I was. Maybe it was the DC show, but a lot of us are lying, and we're in relationships where we are settling because we think we have to. Whether it's romantic, whether it is platonic, whether it is at a job. We are saying yes to things that are not in alignment with who we are and where we want to be. And instead of saying that, we decide to quiet that.
Yeah.
And we quiet that because we don't want to rock the boat. And I am in the season of flipping the boat over.
Period.
And so
Period,
and honesty will do that. Honesty will be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and flip this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is really hard. It is hard to rock the boat. It is really hard to flip it because then you might be the villain in someone else's story.
Yeah.
But I think at this age, I am so okay with being the person who hurt someone else's feelings because I was honest. And when I'm saying honest, I'm not saying nasty.
Right.
I'm not saying mean. I'm not saying disrespectful. We have to also remember that honesty is not whimsical all the time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us think that telling the truth is this walk in the park. But it really requires us to dig deep about what is working, what is not working, what we like, what we don't like. And saying the thing that may be leaning towards the negative is a form of harm and rejection, even if we don't mean it to be that, right?
Right.
But staying somewhere staying somewhere when you don't want to causes more harm in the long run. And people can tell. We think we're lying and we think we're getting away with it. And
That's
we
so
think that we're
good.
being, we are being kind by not saying the thing. We're not being kind by not saying the thing. We're actually causing more harm.
Because people can feel it.
People know that you're not telling the truth.
Yeah.
People know that you don't want to be there. People know when you don't want to be with them. People know when you don't like them. How do we know that? Because we have been those people who have been like, damn, she don't like me.
Yeah.
Or dang, this relationship is over. I know he don't want to be with me. Or damn, my job is going to fire me soon.
Absolutely.
Like we know these things, right? And it's like if we are not honest, we are not living in integrity and in alignment.
Yeah.
And then how can we be in intentional relationships?
There are so many people who crave community, friendship, and intimacy, but your book also highlights the importance of becoming safe company for yourself first. What did becoming at home within yourself look like for you personally?
It looked like not being the good girl because people wanted you to be.
Yeah.
Um, so I had my oldest when I was 18. She just turned 18 and she just graduated high school last week.
Congratulations.
And I am so thrilled and so happy um, for her because she is getting to experience the life that I didn't get to experience.
Yeah.
And she has made a home out of herself already at 18. And so when I think about the home that I make within myself, it looks like emotional safety. It looks like honesty. It looks like trusting my path. And it also looks like not thinking that I have to behave to be loved.
That's good.
Not thinking that I have to be a certain way to be worthy of love. And I think women in particular, we are groomed early to sit pretty, to shut up and be quiet, to don't speak unless spoken to. I mean, men as well. It is really hard to outgrow unhealthy silence practices. And so at home, like if I could walk into the home of my life, like the spiritual home of my life, the emotional home of my life, it would look like a soft place to land. It would look like a place where you can take your mask off, where you can strip bare. And that is because I've created safety within myself. Yeah. And I want to be in relationships with people, in friendships with people that also feel like a safe place and a soft place to land. Yeah. Yeah.
Early on in your book, you write about how you have a friend that I think you met her on a book stop somewhere.
Yep.
And you guys grow this close connection. And
Don't give away the end.
Okay.
Because I open with her and I end with her, so don't give away the end.
I won't. Okay, so you guys start to talk more and more every day, right? Now, along the way, you experienced this silence from her, sudden silence. It's like you didn't hear from her, and you started to wrestle with the assumptions of wondering, are you guys okay? Like, is she okay? And all the things. I think a lot of times when it comes to female friendship, it's so easy for us to start negotiating with our internal thoughts rather than just reaching out. Can you, without me unpacking the story for everybody, because I'm ready, y'all, you stop me.
I knew we was going to dive in, yeah.
What are some things you have done to stop the assumptions that you create within yourself and start having conversations with your friends?
I start asking questions, clarifying questions. That's one thing that my friends will say about me. Like, I'm very direct. And I don't think a lot of people think that I am. I think people might think I'm really soft and passive, but I'm actually like, let's confront this head on. And for me, assumptions really ruin our relationships, especially when we are not clear and when we're literally just making things up in our head. Like, that didn't even happen. She didn't say that. That didn't happen.
Literally.
Like, and then I have to ask myself, whose voice is that? Is that your mama's voice?
That's good.
Is that an old friend's voice? Is that an ex's voice? And I don't like guessing. I'm not a guesser. I'm not a mind reader. Either you're going to tell me what it is or you're not. And if you're not, then we cannot deepen our connection. And what I've had to work on with myself is not being too direct that it scares people, because some people are not direct like me.
It's very scary.
And they be very scary, like, why does she want to talk to me about this? Like, and I'm just like, it's fine. Like, I had a conversation recently with a friend who was being kind of distant. And I'm like, let me just ask her what's going on. And we had a conversation. She told me, she didn't think she was being distant, but maybe she was, because actually I said something 3 months ago that she's been sitting with. And she's like a baby sister to me, so I literally didn't take it to heart. I'm just like, tell me the thing so we can address the thing. And she was like, you hurt my feelings when you said X, Y, and Z. And I said, well, first and foremost, I'm sorry
Yes.
that I hurt your feelings.
It's so important.
And I love you. It is never my intention to hurt you. And when I hurt your feelings, because we are in relationship, we are in a friendship, you're going to hurt my feelings sometimes. I might hurt yours sometimes unknowingly. Please tell me. Please tell me within 24 hours. Because 3 months is not fair.
Yes.
Because how can I right my wrong, my unintentional wrong?
Absolutely.
How can I correct that impact that it had on you if you don't give me a chance? And she's sitting on the phone and she goes, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm not used to having the space to tell people how I feel. So in that moment, it was a learning for us both. It's like, okay, Alex likes to know what's happening when it happens. I do. And this person doesn't feel safe in her friendships, in her relationships, because she has never been shown safety. And she thought that if she said to me, you hurt my feelings,
The relationship is
would be over.
Yeah.
And I empathize with that because I've been on that side where it's like, oh, I don't know what this is going to do to somebody or to this relationship. But at the end of the day, we have to give people a chance to prove us right. We cannot continue, especially people we know love us, especially people we know care about us.
Absolutely.
We cannot lead with the assumption that they are out to get us
Yes.
and out to harm us, because that is not fair. And so that's a real time. This literally happened like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this is a real time example of like what it looks like to not only address things that may have lingered, but to ask for what you need as far as repair goes.
Yeah. It can be so hard to honor someone's experience of us because the way they see us and the way we think of ourselves is two opposites.
Mhm.
It's just, you know, I think that I'm so kind, I'm so intentional, and so thoughtful, and this person could be experiencing me feeling like they're kind of like being left aside. You know what I mean? How have you learned to honor people's experience even when you know that was not your intention?
I think we have to remember that intention and impact piece, right? So I know who I am, and I also know that sometimes I get it wrong, even if it's not intentional. I mean, I learned this a lot in parenting. I have 3 kids, 3 daughters, who we raised them in a home where they are allowed to tell us where we hurt their feelings, when they don't like something that we said, do. And my middle daughter,
She's gonna do
that girl gonna tell me, Mommy, I didn't like how you said that. And I have to be like, I'm sorry, Isla.
Yeah.
And I also would like us to be first-time listeners, because Mommy would not have to raise her voice
Right.
if you listened to me the first time. And so, like, also making space for this dialogue very young, which I am doing this intentionally with my children because I was not given the space.
Absolutely.
No adult was apologizing to me. No adult gave a damn if they hurt my feelings. And that caused me, we thought it was normal, right? A lot of us, I did. And that caused me a lot of turmoil in my life, in my relationships. And so I think for me, understanding that what my intention is may not match the impact. And all of us are different, right? And that's one, I know that I'm never going to just be like outright nasty to anybody. Like, if you're experiencing me that way, girl, I don't know, we might just not be, you know,
Right.
meant to be. But I also know that how I can be.
Yeah.
I can be kind of edgy. I'm very direct. I'm very much like, let's handle this thing. And that to me is loving. But I know that I have some very sensitive people in my life where that is not loving to them.
Yeah.
Like, they need me to like sit down, hold hands, kumbaya. I love you. I have to lead with very flowery language. And that's okay with me because I also respect how people need to be loved, especially if I care about them, right? And so all of that to say, people are always going to experience us differently. There are some people in my life who I'm very, very close with and have had people say to me, like, she was not nice to me. And I'm like, I'm really sorry you had that experience with her. Maybe you caught her on a bad day. Um, and I have since been able to be like, have them in the same space and it be a completely different experience. So I think we also have to remember that sometimes you're going to catch us on a bad day, just like we have bad days, right? I don't.
Sometimes you bad.
And sometimes we bad, and sometimes we just don't get it right. And I think, and that's what the big message in this book is like. It is not about everybody else.
Absolutely.
It is really about us and accountability and self-awareness, and that has to start with us. If we do not start at home base, how can we be in healthy relationships with other people? Intentional, grounding, safe, honest relationships with other people. We all been on this earth one time. We are all learning. And there, I think we have to also realize that there is a place for grace, and then there's also a place for space. Like, which one do you need in your relationships right now?
When you think about, like, being a person who is committed to growth and healing, sometimes it can feel burdensome to have friends who are not committed to that same work. And you want to hold grace for them to grow, but also you can feel like you need the space because they don't want to grow. Personally, telling you my business.
Okay.
I have struggled.
I'm listening.
I've struggled to be patient with people like that. Like they want access to me, but they don't want to take inventory of themselves. They don't want to evaluate. They don't want to sit with themselves. But they still want access to people because they enjoy the laughter, they enjoy the connection, the depth. But at the same time, it feels burdensome because have you ever gotten to the place?
Let's lean in.
Have you ever gotten to the place in your healing journey where people, they can't pinpoint why they don't like you, so they're always trying to justify why they don't? You really had to wear that mint green bandana. And it's like, girl, I just wanted, you trying to find a problem with me. What's the,
Oh, I'm not friends with people like that.
okay, how have you navigated situations where you have people who have access to you because you guys have been friends, but something just flipped? Okay?
No.
Okay.
People got 1.5 times
Absolutely.
to play with me.
So you said I'm not wrong. Thank you. Thank you, Fred.
And I think that comes with age, though, because when we're growing up, we are taught that we have to continue giving people chances, people who are mean to us.
Exactly.
And I think we have to remember that adults can be mean to each other. And something that someone is not going to do is be mean to me and keep access to me. Because there's a difference between our people who, ooh, we like that, okay. There's a difference between people not being in their healing and people being mean.
Yeah.
And I have zero tolerance for people being mean. Zero.
I feel like, personally, I feel like the meanness can come in because it's almost as if your growth is evidence that you're about to leave them. And so they grow resentful in some way.
But I think we also have to understand that that's not our work. Like,
No.
that's literally not my business.
Absolutely.
What is my business is how you are treating me
Absolutely.
in your upset. And if you're not going to use your words and say, hey, sis, hey, friend, I'm struggling right now. It's hard to be with you right now. I'm jealous of you and your healing right now. If you are not going to use your words with me, I cannot continue to love you up close.
Absolutely.
I can love you from a distance. We may not ever be friends again either, especially if you're being mean and nasty. But we have to use our words. And using our words requires vulnerability.
Yeah.
And vulnerability requires trust. And then we have to look at, well, why don't I trust this person to hold my vulnerability? Nothing is ever as surface level as it seems. And I know that because of social media, everything is so quick and so digestible and so like just in our face all of the time without doing any deep work and doing any deep introspection on like why we're feeling the way that we're feeling. And I just want to encourage everybody in here, especially those of you reading the book, which I hope all of you do, and I hope you read it in a book club and your friend groups, and really dive deep into the reflection questions here too, because it's going to challenge you to look at what your role is in your relationships and what relationships are no longer in alignment with your growth. And that is hard work. Nobody can do that work for us. I wish that they could. I wish I could be like, somebody take this off my plate. But at the end of the day, we have to look at, okay, am I friends with this person since I've known them since I've been in middle school? Or because I actually like them? And they like me. And a lot of us are not doing that. We're just like, oh, this is what we've been doing since we've been 12. Girl, we're about to be 40.
Right. Wake up.
Like, are we not going to do, like, check-ins? And that's something that me and my homegirls do a lot. We do quarterly check-ins. How are we feeling about each other this season, you know? But I have a very, very small friend group, and my friendships are very, very intimate, very, very vulnerable. But that has created, being able to do that is because we trust each other.
Absolutely.
And because we've been able to hold each other through some really tough stuff. Yeah. And we've been able to survive some of the pushback that we've gotten within the friendship. All of this is work. None of it is easy. And I also don't think that a lot of us are meant to have, science shows, like, we really only have like 5 to 7, like, close friendships in our life. I think the New York Times did a whole research paper about this. I don't know what I would do with 20 friends. Right. Like, friends.
Not possible. Not
like,
if you're a true friend.
Not if you want to be intentional.
Yeah. Because a true friend is intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot pour into 20 people.
I can't. I can barely pour into my 3 kids. I'm like, how am I going to pour into 20 people, right? And so, like, I'm sharing that because we are kind of sold this dream that the more friends you have, the merrier. Like, you really only need one good one to hold you down. Everyone else is a bonus, is a blessing, and that's beautiful. But it's like, do you have one friend? Yeah. And if you don't, that is okay. Let's find one. You need someone. And especially for us folks who are partnered or married, and this might be controversial, but please get you some friends. Please. Yes. And I know some people are going to be like, girl, I'm about to leave. My husband, my best friend, my wife, my best friend. Please get you some other friends.
It's so important.
Because it is so important. We can talk about that.
I just finished working on this post about things I refuse to do as a wife, and that is give up friends.
Period.
I love my husband. He is my bestest friend. Like, he's my favorite person.
Favorite friend, yeah.
But he'll never understand me like a girl will. He ain't gonna never get the kiki we get. Like, it won't happen. Yeah, yeah. And women just see you in a way that only someone with a uterus can see you. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm moving on. I think a lot of us are scared that if people see the full truth of who we are, they'll leave. But I've learned that vulnerability has a way of removing performance from relationships and revealing who actually wants the real you. Was there ever a moment in a relationship outside of this book where being fully honest felt risky, but it actually strengthened the connection instead of destroying it?
Yeah. There's quite a few moments, I would say. I think the relationship I have with my mother would be the one that I would talk about here, because if you've read After the Rain, if you've read How We Heal, I talk about my relationship with my mom in those books. And we had a very tough relationship. I had a really hard, challenging relationship with my mother. And it wasn't until I turned 30 that I started to get to know her as a woman and not just as my mother. And it opened up a different level of connection and friendship when I started to see her as an individual outside of the person who brought me into this world. And I was at a crossroads. I was not sure if I wanted to be in relationship with my mother. And I was also not sure I wanted to completely be estranged from her either. And I remember talking to Ryan and him telling me, um, you have to make a decision, because if you don't, you're going to keep hurting your mother. And a part of me wanted to hurt her feelings because she was not a great mother to me. And the other part of me who had healed and grown felt really torn, because I'm like, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I'm mad as hell at her. She's a great grandmother to my kids, so she does know how to act. And I say that, lightly now, but that was really hard for me, to witness her love my daughters in the way that she just could not show up for me. And when I turned 30, we had our first real conversation, and she apologized to me for the first time. And she said to me that she was so filled with rage for many reasons, and she just didn't know how to be a mother. She said I was a very challenging child. She said that she was not equipped to be a mother. She did not want to be a mother. And hearing those words immediately softened something in me, because it was that moment of honesty and vulnerability that I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. This type of honesty, this type of connection, this type of relationship in womanhood outside of the relationship as mother-daughter. And choosing to forgive her and move forward has been a really beautiful thing. And I've gotten to know my mother, who is now in her late 60s, in a way that I truly enjoy, and that I can be curious about her and she's curious about me. And that is major. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. I heard you say that an apology could strengthen your credibility.
Yeah. An apology with changed behavior
Yeah.
can strengthen your credibility.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
so good. Okay, I think it's time for a Q&A now.
Awesome.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. Do we have no questions? All right, I'll this hand real quick.
Hi, Alex.
Who am I looking
I'm right here. I'll stand up.
There you are. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
I don't really have a question.
Don't make me cry. Girl, I got mascara on.
Well, I'm going to try not cry, so thanks for saying that. I just wanted to tell you, I found you also on social media in a time in my life when I needed it. It was about a year ago, and I've been on my healing journey for, well, I'm 52, but really started working on it in the last few years. But I got your audiobook. I went to bought the How We Heal, and I was going out for a walk, and I turned it on, and I was going and walking and running, and I was 10 minutes in, and I stopped, and I had to sit down. This woman sees me, so thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Khalil, I need tissues. Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Jasmine. So just for context, I recently moved to the area and I'm working on building community, developing friendships. And so I too resonate with your approach in communication and being very direct with the information that you need and how you balance that. So when you're developing new relationships and setting standards on communication, how do you determine when it's time to give grace in someone learning how to communicate with you versus treating it like a boundary that was broken within the relationship?
That's a great question. The first thing I would say, I think, is all of our relationships are different, right? And I think as we are getting to know people, I lead with, I'm very direct. I lead with that in new relationships. And people, I think, really appreciate that because they know that I'm willing to lean in with them. And so I'm not saying I'm direct, like I'm super confrontational and like, let's, thug it out. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if there is anything that I've done that I do to you that you don't like, I am a safe space to say, hey, Alex, I didn't like that. You don't have to hold anything from me that you want me to correct. Like, I lead with more, if I need to adjust, please tell me. And people let their guard down when you lead in that way, when you are accountable from the jump. And I had a friend actually recently tell me, she's like, I'm so glad. Remember when we first met? And I said, yeah. And you were like, that you're very direct. I said, yeah. And she was like, you meant that. And you've made. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, but I love that because it has created deep trust within our friendship, because I know that I can trust you to hold yourself accountable and also hold me accountable. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but I think that we have to continue to heal by example and lead by example in how we want to be loved and how we want to be cared for in our friendships, in all of our relationships. When it comes to grace, I think we are human and we're going to drop the ball and all of those things. And I also think we know when someone is violating a boundary. And we know when somebody is doing something on purpose or being disrespectful or not holding up their end of the bargain. And so we need to pay attention to the mutual effort. Because if I want reciprocity in my communication, then I would love for you to want the same thing. That has to be put into action. So I guess to put a number on it, I give people about 3 times. Third strike, we're coming. I don't even think you out. We coming to the table and we're like, what the hell is the problem? You know? And then we move forward from there or not. Yeah.
Hi, Allie.
Hey.
My name is Allie.
Hi.
I've been a fan of you for a very long time. I'm proud of you for always bring us along as you go.
Thank you.
My question is around being a friend to a high school. Now having their first kid, doing the things all the moms might not touch. And everything that is,
Mm-hmm.
what would you advise on how to hold space for your friends?
Mm.
Do it in a way that doesn't have to be like sound like a fake outlet for their
Mm. Mm.
finding that space is actually supported without pushing.
That's a great question. So, I am done having kids. That's first and foremost. So I get to be the auntie to my friends who are just now having kids in their late 30s. And something that I like to lead with is I am here if and when you need me. And truly meaning that. So one of my really, really good best friends, she just had her first baby. And we did a meal train for her. And we also gave her babysitter coupons. So I'm like, whenever you and your husband are ready to drop her off, you got 10 coupons. She can come stay with auntie, and you can use those. And it's fun, right? So we keep it light and simple. And also reminding them that you have capacity if you do. And I think especially with new motherhood, it is wild. I don't know how I did it at 18 at all. It is a wild ride in our late 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s. It changes us on a cellular level. We are literally becoming reborn. And so having people in our lives who are close to us, who we trust, and who are child-free at that, you don't have to relate on the motherhood piece, but I think it's beautiful to be like, sis, I have capacity for you. And if you need to be held, I have space to hold you. I may not understand, but I am willing to learn. And that is something that can go hand in hand with kind of anything, right? And it is also, I think, really important for our child-free friends to know that we do want to hear from you, that you want to be around us and our kids. Because sometimes my homegirl will be like, I know you don't have no more babies, but can we just come sit? I'm like, girl, bring that baby over here and come sit. Because even though I'm not child-free, my children are much, much older. And my new mom friends feel like they're kind of a burden. And they're not sure that, I want a crying baby in my house. I don't want my own crying baby in the house. I will take your crying baby and spoil that baby. Me and my little niece, she sits on the island, and I feed her pita bread. She just got these 2 little teeth. And when she starts fussing and I take her from her mama, like, that is a joy for me, right? And I have capacity to do that. And so I think you have to figure out what works for you and the language that you want to use with your friend. And also keep the communication open, because sometimes, too, the mom group friends take precedent. And it's like, girl, it's okay that I don't have kids. I still want to be your friend. And I hope you still want to be my friend. So yeah, there's layers, and there's lots of conversations that need to be had when folks get married and when folks start having babies. The end.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm loud, so I'm trying to not like bust the speakers. Hey y'all. Hey everyone. Hi. Hi. My name's Bridget. They them pronouns. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It feels like a massive kiki.
I love that.
Uterus or not, we're still here.
Yes.
I have a really strong affinity for you as well. I've always felt like the weird one. Turns out I'm neurodivergent. From an immigrant family, so I just was
Oh,
always...
girl. Oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. It's
Bridget.
Okay. Yeah.
My bad. I'm learning.
It has been a journey. Turns out I'm not broken. Yay. So I'm curious to hear, as you are experiencing the opposite of that, like you said the silence. There's something you call the silence something. We like silence ourselves. Anyone remember?
I don't remember either.
When we self-silence.
Maybe it's self-silencing.
Yeah. So
I don't be knowing what I'm talking about, y'all.
It's all good. It's all good. We good. We here. Sorry. Oh, unhealthy silence.
Somebody write that down so I don't forget it again.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
please
you.
Write it down. Okay. Thank you for this collective help. I really appreciate it. In addition to the silencing of like my cognitive senses, everything somatic was a problem, right? So I have spent a lot of time recognizing who I am as like a creature, a being, defining what does it feel like, what's the like unctuousness of like home within myself. That's the first part. That being said, I have done this, but not everybody in my life who I love and appreciate and want to be around has done this. And I'm wondering, what does it look like to engage in restoration, repair, recognition, renewing, whatever R word you want to kind of say, when you're in a conflict with someone who doesn't have the tools, but you don't want to be like, I'm trying to teach you this, but I'm also trying to hold like space for myself, but I also want you to have the space to figure it out, but also
everybody can't have space.
Right. What if we love the person?
But that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
And so then I guess my question is, how do we return back to center? How do we return back to like the like warmth in our belly when we have like good tea, or like maybe when you have a soft cuddly blanket? Like, what are the things that we can do to ground ourselves in these times? Because the reality is, I'm very privileged to have the time to come to this. Yeah. But my mama, love her down. Don't get it twisted. And she's never apologized to me ever.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And I don't think she ever would, honestly, which is really sad. But I've kind of had to reckon with it.
Yeah. Oof. Okay, so thank you for that. I love you. You are so whimsical and wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, the babies love me too. If anyone needs a funkle. They do. I am also a doula. Let's go.
I love it. A couple of things. One, I was diagnosed with ADHD after being misdiagnosed for many years when I was 34. So I totally get it. Two, my middle daughter just got diagnosed with ADHD, generalized anxiety, and emotional regulation disorder. So I'm also raising a very spicy, sassy, gonna tell me how it is, will forget what I just said, baby. And three, it is not our job to get people to do their work. And that is something that I've had to understand, and something that I'm still learning to understand. When I started my healing journey in my 20s, it was by force, and it was also because I wanted everybody and their mama to start healing too. I'm like, y'all need therapy. Let's all do this together. And they were like, no. actually, what are you talking about? Nothing's wrong. It's fine. Like, y'all are nuts. Like, what are we doing? Um, and then and then it was just pissing me off because I'm like, all of y'all are crazy. I'm going to be the one who's not going to be crazy. I'm still crazy. I'm just willing to look at the crazy, right? And I think we have to remember that everybody is not willing to look at themselves because it is so hard. It is so tender. It is so vulnerable. My mother is in therapy for the first time in her life, in her late 60s. And she actually, we had a practice last week. My grandmother has Alzheimer's, and it's dementia now. I don't know. It's just a lot happening. And my mom is her caretaker. And it's really hard for my mom. And it's hard because she has to make decisions for Nana, and she doesn't know how to make these decisions without including Nana, but Nana literally can't make these decisions, right? And so we're on the phone, and I'm direct, I'm a go-getter. I'm like, Mom, okay, here's what we need to do, da-da-da. And she's like, I'm actually feeling emotional and overwhelmed right now, and I don't want to talk anymore, so I'll call you back. And I said, okay. And so that was so brave of her, because normally she would probably just shut down. But she used her words, and she also set a boundary with me. Like, I don't need you to fix this right now. I need you to witness me. And I wasn't witnessing. I was trying to fix. And so the lesson there is sometimes people just need us to witness them and not fix. And in those moments that are tender and tumultuous and hard and uncomfortable, we have to also remind ourselves that we have to let people process how they process. And sometimes we have to remove ourselves from that equation, or we have to allow the person to say, actually, here's my boundary. Let's take some space and come back when we're ready. And the grounding piece for me is I will do the things that you say. I will go cuddle with my heating blanket. I will have my cup of tea. I will put on my jazz. I will make my room 65 degrees and get under the blanket and really try to regulate. And allowing things to be undone is also a part of our healing. Because so much we're trying to just correct everything. Everything cannot be corrected today. Everything cannot be healed today. And when we accept that, and continue to be in our power, and continue to be in our vulnerability, and continue to be in our truth, we're able to continue to be with other people. And so that is what I would say to that. I'm really glad you asked that question. I'm really sorry your mom hasn't apologized to you. And I also hope that you know that you don't need an apology to liberate yourself. You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Savannah, and this is my first time attending something like this.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. I brought some colleagues from work.
Hey, colleagues.
It was awesome. I'm learning not to call everybody my friend, and so we're working on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they are my friends.
Oh, wait.
They're my friends.
They are friends. I'm like, damn. We're being real honest.
Direct.
Direct. We're being direct. I just
Hey,
brought these people I know.
Shout out to the colleagues.
They are my friends.
No, I know. These are friends who are also colleagues.
Yes.
Understood.
Yes.
No, I get it. I get it.
These are dual nature relationships. So my question is kind of professionally oriented, I guess. And so that was the segue into we work together. How do you, even just taking this conversation and putting it in a professional space, how do you not play into, I guess, being an alpha female, being a person in leadership, being somebody that sets the standard, but not shrinking in on yourself or shying away from that when that's met with not well, when it's not met with recently kind of going through things at work where it seems like we're in a bullying environment or women aren't nice to each other, or, you know, I don't want to solve it. I'm not the problem solver, but I also don't want to be quiet because I'm not quiet. You know, how do you still be a part of those conversations, but not, I guess, I don't know, take over it or do too much or even try to overcompensate for something that has nothing to do with you, you know?
Well, I need more context.
So basically, we're women. We work with a lot of women. We want to be friends. We want to get drinks after work, do all the things.
Got it.
But then there are some people who, like you mentioned, don't want to hold themselves accountable, don't want to do the work, but want to be a part of the conversation.
Okay.
How do we not just like uninclude somebody, I guess, but still save space for us because we are doing the work and are willing to. For instance, you came to this, we came to this today. This is going to be an issue tomorrow.
Okay.
How do you, as adults, I'm just, it's real.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
Like, is that the question we have? Okay. I'm looking. Thank you. I hope I elaborated well enough.
Yes. You know, okay. Everybody will not always be included. And that isn't mean. I think it's not. I'm trying to be gentle with my words. No, you cannot be childish right now. We're going to be serious. This is being recorded.
I just feel like life is recess. If they're not good, they don't get to play. No.
I think too, but also like all jokes aside, I think too people know when they're in alignment and when they're not, right? And you probably could have sent out this link to everybody in the office, and the people who aren't here probably still wouldn't be here, right? And I think it is important for us to understand that we don't, just because we know somebody doesn't necessarily mean there needs to be access. And I don't know if I have an answer to this question, but what I will say is there's a way to be clear without being catty and mean, and sometimes people are going to feel excluded. Like, if this is going to be an issue tomorrow, it's because they weren't invited. And maybe the answer, the conversation should be, when they come to you, why didn't we come? Maybe it's time to have a real honest conversation about why you didn't invite them. And that's uncomfortable. So maybe that's your work. Like, I didn't invite you because X, Y, and Z. If you want to be invited next time, X, Y, and Z. And only you can have that conversation. And maybe the answer is, I didn't invite you because you're hard to be around. And that is hard to say. But we need to learn how to say the things that are hard to say in a way that is not nasty. We're not trying to be nasty, but we are trying to be clear and honest. And you have to find where that is for you. You're welcome.
Okay, this will be our last question.
Okay, I think I got it.
There you
Hi.
go.
Hi everyone, I'm Ree, and I think it's kind of appropriate that this is the last question, but my question is actually about grief. So I just wanted to kind of ask an open-ended question about how to navigate processing grief and letting go of relationships, and then also like what's been coming up for me a lot is the version of myself that was in those relationships. Like, for example, this relationship with my cousin that I recently ended was after years of trying to like work something out with her and trying to feel heard in that relationship and realizing that that just wasn't going to happen. And so I think there's like a past version of me that almost tolerated that and I was okay with it. But as I healed and learned that this is like a real problem for me, I had to also let go of like that version of me that accepted that. So that's my question.
How do we deal with grief in our relationships? Grieving the old version of ourselves and the relationship that we've lost. Allow yourself to be disappointed. Because I think a lot of our grief is linked to the disappointment of how things didn't go and how let down we feel and how sad it is to feel let down. It is okay to be devastated by no longer having a relationship with someone that you love. And it's also okay for you to choose not to go back to the place that was harming you. And I think it's important for you to be able to hold both the grief that a thing ended and the gratitude for it being over, and also staying patient with yourself and being in a place of self-forgiveness for who you were in that relationship, because it's hard. Forgiving who we used to be when we didn't know any better is a practice, and it's a daily one. And so as you navigate these waters, I hope that you allow yourself to grieve it all and also be grateful for what you're learning, how you're healing, and what this is going to teach you as you continue to do both. You're welcome. Okay. I think we got to get out of here, I think, yeah?
Thank you so much for being here. Let's have another round of applause for our
Thank
guests.
you guys so much. It was great to see you. I will be back. Y'all are wonderful. Have a good rest of the evening. Bye, everybody.